everyone, and welcome to Lety Does playing the Lone Wolf, the Fortress of Death demo part 2. So, I thought this video was going to be a one-part video, but it ended up getting kind of long, so I'm splitting it into 2 parts, and this clip that you're watching marks the beginning of part 2. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, you can find the link for that in this video's PeerTube description. And let's get started. And anything with his far seed, Soul's Echo, Stand Your Ground, Farsteed's Loss, of course. And I like the Shout of Power. I think that's kind of great, so let's continue. Items. Your basic possessions consist of the tunic and leather boots of a sword knight of Ilion and a suit of full plate armor. Adds +8 to your endurance. And a broadsword. You also have a backpack with 1 meal, a belt, and a leather pouch in which you keep your money. Gold crowns. Select 3 items to aid you on your journey. Choose wisely as your equipment can mean difference between life and death. 2 meals. A potion of Lomspur. A potion of Alether. A blanket. A compass. A lucky talisman, a writing set, a rope, a lantern, and a long spear. Okay. A writing set includes ink, a quill, and a flat wooden writing surface and several sheets of parchment. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. I don't know. Lantern. It looks really dark here. A rope. This stuff looks really jagged. Maybe some food. 2 meals. Let's do 2 meals. All right, and then here is everything. So here's how Qel Dhormos. I got combat skill, endurance, willpower. So as my willpower goes down, I'm like screwing myself over. I've got my broadsword. In my backpack, I have a lantern and a rope. Full plate armor, power key. Oh, I already had 1 meal on me to start. Oh, okay. And this again. I have read this already as well. That was on the page. Okay. Here is some artwork. I'm on a ship again! Oh no! And then this is the story so far.
There, in the dim light of dawn over the town of Herdus, the shimmering waves of Lake Qel stretch from shore towards a dark shadow on the water. There in the distance, a black crag of stone, the Isle of Qel, lurks in the darkness, seemingly untouched by the rising sun. Flickers of strange energy surround the foul island, a field of eldritch magic, struggling to contain the evil within. At the heart of this lightless blight, a black-walled fortress can be seen in the brief moments where the hemisphere of emerald radiance fades against the brutal onslaught of the terrible power that constantly seeks to escape its imprisonment. Rage as it might, the prisoner inside the dark stone citadel remains trapped. All efforts have come to naught, its freedom denied for more than a millennia. This vile keep of shattered iron and blackened stone is Kazan-Oud, known throughout Magdaman as an edifice of pure evil. Once the bright and perfect demoncy of Lord Zada, an elder Magi of Desai, It became as dark and corrupted as its master when Zada betrayed his fellows in a war that slaughtered many of his immortal kind and loosened many monsters upon the world. Joining their powers together with the aid of the gods of light, Kai and Ishir, the Elder Magi forced Lord Zada back to his citadel, along with his most devoted followers and abominations.
Magi is gonna send me.
There they erected the Null de Tet, the massive shield of magic that prevents Lord Zada from leaving his island exile and prevents him from affecting the world beyond the shores of the Isle of Qel. The Elder Magi tell this story to all who inquire about Kazan-Oud, and for the most part they believe it to be true. But for many years it has become apparent that while Lord Zada is indeed a prisoner of his Black Keep, his influence is not quite as contained. A vast dungeon has been excavated beneath the fortress, its labyrinthine halls stretching out to the limits of the Null de Tet, and down as far, so far, that many among the Elder Magi believe their ancient, treacherous enemy may be close to slipping his bonds at long last.
I like the idea.
It is in this hour of greatest need that you have come,
tunnel, maybe.
a traveler from a distant land with a grand task of your own to fulfill. The Elder Magi have agreed to grant you a Tet Nolo, a power key.
Okay.
This translucent red crystalline orb fits neatly in your palm, its core swirling with sparks, spiraling mist and flares of gold and silver fire. This gem, filled with power from the Elder Magi that guard against the evils of Kazan-Oud, will grant you passage through the Null de Tet. All the rulers of Desai ask in exchange is that you fight the forces of Kazan-Oud and defeat as many of Lord Zada's minions as you can during your mission.
Oh.
Someday, the fallen Magi might escape the Isle of Qel and renew his bloody war of conquest against all the lands of Magnamund. When he does, your victories against his dark army could be the difference between victory and defeat.
Okay.
With one last check of your equipment and a final farewell to your hosts, you board the Silver Star and set across Lake Qel. The ominous sight of your destination looms closer and darker until its night-black walls are all you can see. This is where your journey begins, and where, if you are not skilled, careful, and lucky enough, where your life and your adventure will end. Welcome to the Fortress of Death.
Okay, so my little boat thing is that little boat that I'm riding on the Silver Star? Oh no. Okay. Welcome to the Fortress of Death. Sounds so contradictory. I don't want to be in the Fortress of Death. Yeah, that's me. Is that the Silver Star?
Under the gloom of grey clouds and a darkening sky above, you are lowered off the edge of the Silver Star.
Okay, that's not the
Your
Silver
small
Star.
skiff descends onto the crashing waves, lapping against the hull of the caravel that has brought you this close to the Isle of Qel, but dares come no closer.
Go fast, go hard,
shouts the crewman, turning the winch above you.
The Lord of the Castle doesn't like uninvited guests.
I'd imagine. How am I gonna find the sword?
Using the skiff's lone oar, you shove off against the hull of the Silver Star towards your destination. The black stone beach over the island looms close as you steer the small grey wooden craft to its only safe port, a narrow stretch of colorless sand in a barren crescent of beach. On either side, ominous basalt breakers rise like skeletal fingers rising from an unquiet grave. There is little sound now.
It's a good thing I brought my lantern.
The gusts of wind around you and the scathing storm about to break overhead. It almost feels as if Magnamund itself is trying to keep you from landing ashore this cursed isle.
Oh, thanks, guys.
The long shadow of the dark fortress itself falls across you as a sudden crack of lightning splits the sky. All at once, sound returns in a wake of thunder. You can hear the beating of the current against your skiff. The spiraling gale of the Isle of Qel shrieks like a tormented spirit. Beyond the ebon spires of the ruined fortress, the sky roars as a violent tempest erupts, coming down so hard that the rain hurts your skin. The lake is becoming too chaotic to control your skiff. Each waves smashing into you with the force of a wrecking ball. If you cannot reach the shore before this terrible storm destroys your ship, your mission to Kazan-Oud will end before it even has a chance to begin. Rowing with all your might, you steer for the gray sand beach.
No! Okay, so I guess if I don't make this roll, I'm dead? Maybe? Alright, strength test.
You struggle against the raging current beneath you and the press of winds billowing around the island. It is all you can do just to keep from capsizing. The strain of your effort is more than the oar can take. You hear it finally snap in your hands, its lower half sinking beneath the waves just as your skiff is threatening to do. The fierce downpour makes it hard to even see where you are going, but you are about to lose your vessel either way. Suddenly, the pounding waves cave in the left side of your skiff. Water pours in, filling the small boat in seconds. Desperate, you grab your belongings and leap out.
Well, at least I didn't lose anything.
A few moments of rough swimming later, you drag yourself up onto the sandbank and roll onto your back. The painful rain is almost refreshing after nearly drowning. Through the haze and chill of this vicious storm, your only focus is breathing, the pain in your limbs, and the thunder of your own heartbeat.
Well, I survived and I didn't lose anything, so that's pretty great, to be honest with you.
Just past the stretch of drenched gray sand, you see dark stone, the broken ruins of a small building, and a path leading inland towards the massive husk of black rock that was once Kazan-Oud. What remains of its central tower looms like the shadow of death across the Isle of Qel, casting everything around you in deep darkness every time the fortress is silhouetted by lightning strikes. Before you can press on, the sound of your skiff smashing into the breakers echoes across the beach. The skiff was supposed to be a way back, your transport back to the port of Hurdos. Once the storm passes, you might be able to find another skiff or rowboat somewhere along the shore, but for now you are committed to the journey ahead. Kazan-Oud awaits. Though the fortress does not seem to be far from shore, it would be a difficult trek in this downpour. You can barely see a lance's length ahead of you, making further travel dangerous until the storm passes. Even dim moonlight on an overcast would be better than what you have right now. It might be better to seek whatever shelter you can find and wait out the rain if you have no way of even seeing where you are going.
Okay, and then my options are explore the small ruin nearby, light your lantern and continue to Kazan-Oud right now, find shelter among the rocks around you, or press on in the dark despite the risks. I also like the mention of you can barely see a lance's length ahead of you. And then in the previous thing it says that like the sword knights are trained in broadsword and lance. So it's like, does Qel Dhormos measure stuff in lance's length because that's what he's used to? Oh, about a lance's length away. That's about a full broadsword there. I don't know. I am going to light my lantern because I have a lantern, so I might as well use it. I've been saying this dark stone, it's not gonna stop me because I have a lantern. Look at my lantern!
Pressing close to one of the tallest spars of basalt nearby, you hunch over your pack and withdraw your lantern. It takes time and toil to get the wet wick dry enough to catch, but after what feels like a drenched eternity, you light the lantern and close its housing. Its yellow flame is not particularly bright in this deluge, but it will illuminate the path ahead and let you continue your journey to Kazan-Oud.
Good.
The path ahead is strewn with shards of stone and deep pits of erosion from the constant barrage of the elements against this place. You can avoid the worst of them now that you have light, but your approach to the fortress is still slow and perilous. You have to turn back several times and move farther down the shattered landscape of the island just to find a safe way forward. Eventually, however, persistence pays off, and you find yourself at what little is left of the castle's outer curtain wall. Stone blocks, pitted and cracked, rise up ahead of you. This broken barrier held out the might of the Elder Magi for decades during their war with Lord Sada, but now it cannot even keep out the rain. You spot a nearby gap in the rocky vale and head that way, hoping to find a way out of the weather once you reach the fortress itself.
Oh, well, this fortress is just not in good condition at all. Can you imagine all the mold that's going to be in there from the rain? And then I won't even be able to tell because everything is dark stone anyway. Oh no.
As you press into the gap in the stone, you quickly realize that you are not alone in this section of castle walls. Just a dagger's throw away. Two humanoid figures look up towards your light and snarl. They have bestial features and thick fur, like animals forced by terrible magic into something not quite a human form. Their long yellowed claws grate against the hafts of their spears as they turn to face you. Howling in bloodlust and alarm, they bring their weapons up and charge. Their shouts are drowned out by sudden thunder, but that will be of little consolation if you cannot defeat them quickly.
Okay, so I was right. They do measure things in weapons. A lance is a measurement of a lance, and now this is a dagger's throw away? I guess. Enter combat. Okay, they have 21 endurance and their combat skill is 17. I have 30 EP for me. You deal 14 damage and you take 0 back. Oh my gosh. You deal 8 damage and take 2 back. You are victorious. Oh, look. I was nice enough to make them a little grave. A little gravestone. That's so nice of me for these random beastmen that attacked me. Oh no!
Defeating the snarling sentries, you quickly dash across the now blood-soaked ground to where they were taking shelter from the storm. You cannot risk drawing more attention, so you quench your lantern and pack it back away once it has cooled. As you now have no way to light your path, you should stay where you are for now. This small hollow beneath the outcropping of basalt is a good place to wait out the storm before continuing on. A quick search of the beastmen yields little of value, but you can claim one of their spears as a weapon if you wish.
Okay, so I was able to keep my lantern because it said that I quelled the flame and then I put it away once it has cooled. I kept it? That's cool. I'm gonna keep the spear. Take the spear. Okay. And then, yeah, I guess we'll wait for the storm to pass.
A dim light eventually starts to shine through the thick clouds overhead, marking both the approach of dawn and the end of the malevolent maelstrom that has barraged the island all night. Your shelter was barely adequate and hardly comfortable, but it did keep you out of the worst of the storm. There is still a light rainfall, but the lightning has passed. It should be safe to continue into the ruins of the Dark Fortress itself. Shadow cling to every bluff and spar. The tempest-tossed landscape around you is littered with the remnants of several old structures destroyed in the years of war that drove Sada beneath his castle and ended with his exile beneath the power shield that surrounds the island. The only edifice that seems intact is a tall pillar in the distance, one of the monuments of the Elder Magi that project and anchor the Null de Tet in place.
Oh, I thought
Without
that's
them,
where he lived.
the evil that lurks here would be free to spill forth and threaten Magnamund again. You grip your power key, its smooth weight reassuring and warm. You thank the gods that it was not lost during your dive into the lake last night. Without it, you too would
I'm
be
holding
trapped
this
here.
thing loosely.
Once you are ready to depart, you leave
That's
your
my only
shelter
way in and out.
turn
Shouldn't
toward
I
the ominous
tie it
citadel
down?
at the heart of the island. Though you do not have far to go now, you also know that reaching Kazan-Oud only marks the beginning of your journey.
Okay. Okay. So it says, want more? This is the end of the demo. Buy the full game to continue playing. And then buy now, return home, soundrealms.com. So that's before. It says, the last thing I clicked on said enter the castle grounds. So I managed to get a spear, and I still have everything. I'm not that bad on EP. It's pretty good. And I survived a boat ride. I think I was doing pretty well, huh? So that is where I'm going to be ending this here. And if you would like to check out the full version of this game, you can buy it over on the Sound Realms website. You can click buy now. It'll direct you there. I believe it is 250 krona, which should be about $25 in USD, and whatever the exchange rate is and the currency you'd be using. And I believe the season pass is 120 krona, so about $12 USD. So yeah, they'll be updating that as well throughout the year. You can find the links for that over in my PeerTube description. I hope you check it out. I know I'm going to be checking it out. I'm not going to be making a Let's Play for it, but I might make a little recap video when I finish, if people are interested in that, just showing off the choices I made and what I did for it. So let me know if that sounds like something that you would be interested in. But thanks to Sound Realms and everyone who made this game possible for making an awesome game, and I look forward to seeing what you guys have to say about it. I don't really check in on Kickstarters that I back, just in case they end up being disappointing, and I more like being pleasantly surprised when it all works out, and this has definitely worked out. But that's all I got for you guys for now. So get out there, do all the stuff, and I'll see you next time. Bye!